Hello, and welcome to the Ganru Zabeth Show. I'm Golda.
I'm Wanru.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And this is a podcast that's just like catching up with your three best girlfriends.
Today we have a very special guest, Elizabeth Pan.
Hi.
We were having her on because she's a bundle of joy.
Yes.
Aww.
She's our friend, and we want her to concierge our life.
Please.
You know, there's a concierge for a hotel.
Yes.
We need that, like, for our life.
Yes. Liz is the person in our lives that knows the best of the best, and she's the hookup person. She knows everything.
Exactly.
So she's going to help you out too.
And more specifically, she's going to teach you how to bring more fun into your everyday.
So let's
get started.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of the Ganru Show. It's a special day. We have a wonderful person in me and Wanru's life, Liz Pan, Elizabeth Pan, Liz Pan, Lizzie Pan.
Hello, everyone.
And Liz and I don't know about you Wanru, but Liz and I have known each other for what, like 15 years?
Something like 15 years.
Yes, we met doing a play here in Los Angeles called Dog Eaters, which was a play written by Jessica Hagedorn.
Yep.
And Liz and I played cousins.
I know. It was so much fun.
Yes, and 2 incarnations of this production.
And you would never believe it, but Golda was the comic relief of the show. I
Oh,
know it's
boy.
hard to understand and believe
No.
that now, but she was.
No, I was
No.
constantly
Really?
confused. Where's my mark? What's my line? I was a big mess.
And Elizabeth was the lead.
Yes, she was.
Well,
she was the
it was
lead.
an ensemble show.
She was the lead.
She was the main character.
Yes,
in
it
an
centered
ensemble.
around her character.
Which is very fitting because Liz
Yeah.
is kind of like the center of our social
Oh
life
my
here.
gosh, you guys give me too much credit.
So that's
No.
why we invited Liz here, is because hopefully if you're like Wanru and I, you have someone in your life who is the ringleader in terms of the social gatherings. She is the person that you text or you call when you finally need to go to the dentist, and you're like, who's the best dentist? And she knows.
Is that fun?
If you going to Paris, when we went to Paris, like, where should I go to Paris? Oh,
Okay,
she's
yeah.
got the hookup, she's got the spreadsheet.
Mhm.
My pipe sprung a leak. What plumber should I use? She's got them on speed dial. She is the person you talk to about any of those things and more. So we thought that she would be a wonderful person to bring in the show to talk about how to put more fun in the everyday.
Yes.
Put more
Which
fun.
I love to do.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll ask you more about that. But I want to know, how did you and Liz know each other? How did this happen?
Wanru showed up in my life fully formed.
Exactly.
Aw.
Just like an Amazon.com delivery. Ding dong.
There she was at my
I'm
front
here.
door, my BFFFF.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's so sweet.
I've only known her for probably 5 or 6 years.
It seems longer.
Does.
It seems longer.
Yeah.
You
But
guys are
I've
like,
known of Wanru before I became friends with her. I
True.
saw Wanru herself in a very hysterical performance in Telemongal, this show called
That's
Telemongal,
right.
where you played a nail salon lady, and
That's
it
right.
brought down the house.
That's
and I
right.
thought, who is that girl? She is so funny. I've never
Mhm.
seen her before, but she is like, everyone is belly laughing in the audience,
I remember
right?
that performance.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Cut
show.
to 5 years later, I'm friends with her, like good friends with her.
Yeah.
And she just mentioned she was in this show called Telemungo. And I'm like, wait, were you the nail salon lady? She's like, yeah, that was me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think you're fantastic. I never put the
Aw.
2 together. So it's really weird
Yeah.
to see a friend that you know so well, you actually knew who she was before you knew who she was.
So it's not like, Liz, you sought her out after the show
No,
and
I
said,
didn't.
I have to be your
wanted
friend.
to. I wanted
That's
to.
what I
but-
did. That's what I did with Wanru.
You stalked her?
I totally stalked her. I saw her in an improv show at Cold Tofu, and I'm like, I want to be your friend. And that's what happened. And then the rest
And then
is
the
history.
Ganru podcast
And then this
happened.
happened.
But you know what?
Indeed.
We were running in the same stratosphere, because I saw them both in Dog Eaters.
Yeah.
And when she said, "Are you the Vietnamese nail salon lady?" I said, "Are you the Filipino girl with crimped hair?" Because that was
Oh
her
my gosh.
character in
That's
Dog
That
right.
was
Eaters.
my trademark, my
Yeah.
crimped hair.
That's
I mean,
right.
Golda was very memorable in Dog Eaters, and your hair wasn't too drastically different. So somehow I wasn't as confused as to who you were.
You know what's so funny is that I had this monstrous hairdo, and I I was very method about it. I actually dyed it blonde for the
Yes,
character,
yes.
and I teased it every day.
I remember.
Here's what a dingaling I am. I didn't know you could actually like get a wig, and you didn't have to do that.
So you just
yourself.
fried out your hair.
I totally
for
fried
a
it.
99-seat theater show.
This length I've been growing for like 12 years.
Trying to get rid of that.
It's only
blonde.
shoulder length now. It started as a bob, and it's only grown an inch in 5 years.
Okay, so
But anyway,
that's all the
yes,
backstory. As
that's
to
the backstory.
How we
The
know
origins,
each other.
the
Origin
origins.
story. But in general,
Yeah.
I think both me and Golda feel like the person we would look for advice for,
Oh, yeah.
for a good idea of what to do would be Liz.
Yes.
So if there was a concierge, if you don't know what a concierge is,
Yes.
It's that
What is a
person in your-
concierge?
it's that person in your hotel who you
Mhm.
walk down in the lobby, you're like, I'm new to Paris. What must I do in Paris? What are
Yes.
the fun things to do? And Liz is like that for your life.
Yes.
She's like a cruise director.
Yes.
And if you don't have that, well, we're going to teach you how to do that
Yeah.
in this episode.
Or you can be that person in your circle,
Mhm.
right? If you don't have one in your circle already.
And just to give you an example of her powers,
Yeah.
Elizabeth Pan's powers, Golda, tell us about how
Oh, man.
you got a health treatment
Nobody
of Liz.
nobody watches this show, right? So I can tell you guys. Okay, so one day we finished the run of the show, and Liz was talking about detoxing because she's into wellness, health and wellness. And so I started asking her, like what kind of things do you do to detox? And she said, oh, well, there's this really great place that I went to get a colonic. And I said, what? What's a colonic? You know,
That's what I think it is. Is that the word?
Everyone, everyone in the audience is like, is that supposed to be fun? Is
ooh.
that what a concierge does?
Yeah, I'm like, like colonic. You mean where you artificially try to take a hoo? Because I go the old-fashioned way. I wait until the spirit moves me. Maybe after a cup of coffee. And then let nature do its thing. Very DOS about my approach. So anyway, Liz says, oh yeah, have you ever tried a colonic? There's this really great place. And she's like, you should do it because it'll clean you out. Like my skin got really, really clean. Like she was selling it like she was getting get commission.
I don't remember.
Yes,
this.
you did, girl. Girl, you were lighting up like a firefly. She was really into this colonic. And I was really into like wanting to detox, right? And get healthier. So I'm like, oh, I'll totally do it. She's like, oh, okay, I can get you a coupon. I'm like, this place takes coupons? This is before Groupon. So then what ended up happening, talk about being a ringleader. Then the other gals that were in the show,
We were having this conversation in the ladies' dressing room.
yeah, so
backstage.
it was just me and Liz talking, and then the other gals that were in the show said, we want to try that too. So Liz is this Pied Piper
Yeah.
of ideas where she gets people excited. And so long story short, we go to this place and none of us except for Liz has ever had a colonic before. Have you had a colonic, Wanru?
No, and we will need an explanation.
We need to explain what a
that is.
colonic
Liz, I'll
is.
leave it to
You,
you.
you tell the story, and Liz will tell us what a colonic
Yes,
is.
Liz,
Okay.
I'll leave it to you. What is a colonic?
A colonic is a wellness treatment
Yeah.
in holistic circles where you go under medical supervision. They stick a, would you call it a hoo-ha?
Yeah.
There's some-
Well, it's
some-
next to the hoo-ha.
Next to the
So it's a
hoo-ha.
moo-ha.
The moo-ha. You stick just a little pipe into your
A little
moo-ha.
pipe.
Is it a
little
pipe?
And then, yeah, it's a little one.
Okay.
And it's okay. And then they
They-
pump water into your
In-
body and it
okay.
flushes your lower intestines.
Okay.
And it's, you're supposed to have a lot of plaque build up in your intestines. And so when you have this high pressure water shoot in, Wanu's looking at me totally. And it flushes it out. And then you could watch your plaque come out of you through
Yeah.
a glass tube.
Oh my
so you
gosh.
know how much buildup is in your intestines.
So Liz is calling it plaque. I call it shit.
So I want to
So-
know, what did you guys? So they
It's poo poo.
put a pipe up your what's it?
yeah.
Yeah. The
And they
moo-ha.
use high pressure water to force water up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then of course, what's gonna go up
Comes back
comes
down.
back
yes.
down through
Yeah.
a clear pipe.
Yep.
Yeah.
What did you guys see in there? Some
Oh, that wasn't the best part. The best part was it goes to the clear pipe, which is underneath your gown, your dress, right? Your surgical gown or whatever. And then it travels into like what's like a little TV. Like
oh
if you
my
can
god!
imagine the size of like a 30-inch screen TV
Yeah,
or
you
something.
can learn a lot by looking at what comes out.
And so what happens is you look at the TV and you're like, oh, it's just clear. There's nothing there. And then you just see a bunch of water. Then the next thing you know, you start seeing like
What?
poops and stuff coming through the water.
See, like, bubble gum, keys.
Yeah, like that button that you swallowed when you were like 12. It's like it comes
Corn.
out.
Yeah.
Corn.
Yeah,
A lot of corn,
corn.
mostly 90% corn.
Yeah, like all this
I
stuff.
think
Like
I had this like image that when we go, like it will like I would lose 10 pounds in
Yeah.
a 30-minute treatment. I think that was my initial
Yeah.
joy, was to like, I just want to like, get
Yeah.
all this excess weight, because they said,
Yeah.
like this is just excess weight you're carrying around with you.
yeah,
And I was like, I'm curious. And that's the thing. I'm curious about everything.
yeah,
What a great attitude to have.
yeah. I mean,
I'm-
and it made me feel lighter. But at the end of the day, I think I only lost like half a pound, and I gained 2 pounds like 2 days
Because we
later.
went to lunch afterwards.
But the short of it was a wonderful bonding experience.
Yeah. mhm.
15 plus years ago that we did this, and I
Yes.
still remembered it out of so many countless things that I've done in my life with other friends, right? And this is everything that I've done with Liz has been really, really memorable.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Because she puts a lot of thought without even
Thinking about
yeah, thinking
it.
about it. But
She's thoughtful without thinking about
but she's
it.
very thoughtful in terms of what she'll never recommend something that she hasn't done herself or wouldn't want to try herself.
Yes, she's
and
vetted.
I'm willing to try almost everything.
Yes.
So
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 that,
you don't have to.
that gives me comfort, as part of the Liz gang.
Yeah, so when Golda told me the story about how you single-handedly
Mm-hmm.
pretty much brought 15
Like yeah.
15 women to a colonic center and you guys all got a colonic, I said, yes, she is the concierge for your life. She's got
Yeah.
that power.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and I think too that it definitely helped. I felt better.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Although I
and
couldn't
you've never, have you gone back ever?
I sure haven't. I sure haven't. I've gone back to the DOS way of going to the bathroom.
The DOS?
The
Windows
yes.
95 way.
Yes,
The
just
analog way.
The analog way, just the regular way. So
let's jump right in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give us your best tips on how to bring more fun into your everyday.
yeah.
Well, thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me on here. I'm a
Aw.
huge fan of the Ganru show. I'm an early adapter, longtime fan, first time guest. I'm loving it here. And thank you so much for the wonderful compliments you guys are giving me. I
Aw.
actually was telling them before the show that I didn't think of myself as this type of person.
Yeah.
It's just something that I just naturally like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I never, it's not anything I put thought into. So I actually had to sit down and be like, well, what is it that I do? And I guess it's just, a sense of fun, right? And injecting fun into what you would do every day. And then, nothing's, it's always more fun with people. And so like having the energy to bring people on board with you on these adventures that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it is. So you asked for tips. I guess my a very, very easy tip is I, for some reason, end up on email lists of all these wonderful like things to do around LA or whatever city you're in. And I always go through them because like, the top 10 best things to do in Los Angeles this weekend. I'm like, let me just see what that is.
Yeah.
And you always find things that are kind of interesting. I mean, the most recent example is like a week ago, I'm like, Lululemon is having their 20-year anniversary this year.
And Lululemon
Is the female athletic apparel company,
Okay.
very high-end, beautiful athletic wear. And so they were offering a free yoga class in their Pasadena store.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
I told
it showed up on a email subscription.
Yeah, it was for
subscription.
Eventbrite. So some wonderful that I follow is Eventbrite, Thrillist, Time Out, Do LA, all those type of, they always have really great events. And so I signed up for it and I got Wanru to come. I got my boyfriend to come and we went and we had this lovely morning on a Sunday morning doing yoga. And then they did a drawing. And so funny, of the 50 people there. 5 people got free Lululemon shirts, and Lululemon shirts are gold. They're worth their weight in gold. They're so
Are they pricey?
So they're pricey and they're so well made.
Okay.
And Wanru and my boyfriend were drawn out of that, and so that was just such a fun morning. We got to do
Yay.
I
yoga,
got a free shirt.
a free
Yay.
Lululemon shirt.
You know
Swag.
Because I subscribe to the Liz Pan newsletter.
Yeah, you don't need. So what you need to do is forget about the Thrillist and all that stuff. Just subscribe to Liz Pan. She'll hook you up.
Oh my gosh.
There's an idea.
There's an idea. Light bulb moment.
Don't
don't
even
s-
think about it.
trademark.
Liz Pan in Connecticut or wherever other
Yeah.
Liz Pans are.
Ganru's about TM right here.
Mhm.
We always have to do this in every podcast because we're so afraid people are going to steal
Steal our ideas.
genius
It's
ideas.
true.
Our gold mine ideas.
Right, but I know with her, she's like the cruise director. I trust her inherently.
Yeah.
So when she starts to go,
Is that the
Mhm.
Piper pipe?
this is my
Is that what
this is my interpretation.
Or she's eating a sandwich. She's massaging the sandwich first.
How can she be eating a sandwich and making that noise
No,
at the
you,
same
you,
time?
you're making the sandwich. Anyway, you got to watch the
Anyway, so-
YouTube to see what
It's a
we're doing.
mesmerizing tune.
It's a That's how you sound in my mind. That's how mesmerizing it
Wearing
is.
like a jester's outfit as well.
I imagine
Walking through the
a
streets of a
Peter
medieval
Pan
town.
outfit, but yes, something like that. A little pointy green toe shoe thing. And it's just Lululemon. I'm like, okay, I don't ever shop at Lululemon. Yoga at 8 a.m. I'm like, 8 a.m. Okay.
Oh, wow.
whatever.
8 a.m.
I gotta get there. What time? Oh God! And then I was there like, man, I'm having a hard time waking up. And then when they drew my name for the raffle,
Yeah.
I woke right up.
Oh, I bet.
I was like, ding! My eyes opened up. I go, how much? $85 worth of
Yes.
Lululemon gear? Oh my gosh!
Free
it
shit
was
will
just-
wake you
it
up
was
any
just
day.
a fun little thing, right?
Yeah.
To do on a Sunday morning that normally we wouldn't do on a Sunday
Right.
morning. Another tip I would say is take like a normal thing that you would do, like anyone would do, and just put a little fun twist into it.
Okay. Like what?
Example, recently last month, it was my boyfriend's birthday. And,
Mhm.
everyone goes, we're going to choose a restaurant. Everyone goes to the restaurant. You eat dinner. You split the check, and everyone goes home.
Right.
It's a
That
fun
sounds
time.
like a perfectly good
Right?
time. I don't see anything wrong with that. Do you, Golda?
I don't. I think that's fantastic.
I like it. Eat dinner, go home. What could be better than that?
Yes. Straight and to the
Well,
point.
We can add a little twist into that, ladies.
Ooh.
Wait,
So, first of all, we are all performers, as well. There are people in this world who are not, believe
Yeah.
it or not.
Okay.
And my boyfriend and his group of friends are one of those. They are all lawyers.
They're
Very-
citizens.
They're citizens. They're
Yes.
actually productive members of
Yes,
society.
Yes.
And they actually are very, they're very corporate. They're professional. They're educated. They're very,
Yeah.
very good people, very
Okay.
good people and stuff. And so I said, you know what? So for Ken's birthday, we're gonna play a little game.
Ooh.
And you should they're like, oh, what? What kind of game, Liz? Like, what are you gonna make us do? I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry
I
about it. Just like
object. I object. I need to go up to the bar. I need to have a sidebar right now to talk about this birthday game.
I dissent. RBG.
Did you
Watch it.
submit a petition to talk about this game, Liz? I don't see it on the docket here, but anyway.
That is exactly what it was, and not so many.
Is
words.
that
They
how
were
they
just-
act, Liz?
They were just like, what? And then when dinner was over, I'm like, okay, everybody, let's clear the tables. And they were like, what are we gonna do? And I said,
Wow.
and I just handed out sheets of paper. I said, we're
Yeah.
gonna play How Well Do You Know Ken trivia game.
Aw, that's nice.
And they were like, oh, okay. And so I just gave, like questions like, what animals does Ken have tattooed on each shoulder?
okay.
Questions like that. This is a 2-part question. What was his double majors in college?
Oh, that's
like just
cool.
stuff that's not too threatening, but fun.
Yeah.
And to see them like actually get into it and get
Yeah.
competitive in a fun way. And if they
Yeah.
didn't know the answers, they would start writing down really funny things and that would make everybody
Hilarious things,
laugh.
yeah.
And at the same time, they're getting to know Ken,
And
right?
each other probably
And
too,
each
right?
other.
Yeah.
And I said there was a prize involved and that upped the ante. And that
'Cause
always
people
wins-
like free shit.
Oh, salt and straw certificate. You could do a lot with the salt and straw gift
Oh.
certificate, which was the prize.
Oh, nice.
One of the best ice cream shops in Los Angeles.
Ooh.
Anyways, and so they ended up, having a good time. And then later, like one of them said, Liz, I'm really glad you did that. That
That's
was
cool.
fun. And I was like, yeah, it was, and that's something that our group of friends have done. Actually, that's not my idea. It's something
Yeah.
I stole, but I injected it into something that most people would not do. And I think
Yeah.
it just made the party a little bit give it a little twist.
You know what I love about that too is that a lot of times when you get a big group of people together, sometimes you only talk to the person next to you or the person in front of you, and you don't get a chance to mingle with everybody.
Yep.
So having
five
something
different conversations going at the same time is a different experience. And I have another fun thing about that.
Tell me.
I went to a talk, and I taught. It was the CEO, founder of IMDb.
Okay.
He is a movie fiend. Like he has seen 20,000 movies in his lifetime.
Wow.
And Amazon bought IMDb. He said he went to dinner with Jeff Bezos.
Okay.
And it was like one of those big long tables, and they knew that the person's dinner conversation is going to be different depending on who you're sitting next to, because you're going to break off into 20 different conversations. So Jeff Bezos says, no, we are going to have a conversation for everybody. And the way he did that, he said, I want everyone to go around the table and answer this question.
I know. He said, here's a piece of paper and write down how well you know Ken Chu. Is that what happened? And you'll get a Salt and Straw gift certificate.
Right. And oh man, those billionaires, they went after that. Like you never.
I'm just teasing. Go ahead.
So he went around and he asked the question, which was, what is the one movie that people are always shocked that you've never seen?
Oh.
And so it's a very random question, but, and then people went like, oh, like for me, it's Schindler's List. And I was like, what?
You haven't seen Schindler's List?
Exactly, right? That's not something I'm very proud of. But everyone's like, what? And then they all have stories and stuff like that. So I decided to inject that into dinner with my uncle and aunt, my Chinese uncle and aunt, and my mom. Okay, they're all in their 70s. And we were having like a birthday dinner and stuff. And usually when we go, they're talking in Chinese. The second generation's talking in English, and nobody's ever talking to each other. And I said, we're going to do this. And so I said, hey, everyone, let's talk about what's the movie that people are always shocked that you've never seen. And it got multi-generations together and talking and laughing. And it's like the stories that come out. Like my uncle told me that he ditched his great uncle, my great uncle, for to see Lawrence of Arabia back in Taiwan in 1972 or something. Like he totally they had plans, and we just laughed about it. That's just something like a normal family dinner.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that, right? But if you put that in, it actually just made it so memorable, and everyone ended up bonding.
That's really wonderful. And I think that in a lot of ways, like to your point, Liz, it doesn't have to be a big event, right?
No.
To put some fun into the situation.
Notice none of these things cost money.
Yeah.
Except for the Salt and Straw gift certificate. But it's very, very inexpensive. These are little things.
I think even you thinking about the Salt and Straw as the prize is also very creative.
Is it?
I don't know what that is. You know what I mean?
It's Golda, we'll take you.
Girl,
it's the best ice cream in LA. Is it on the keto diet?
It's not, but I will thoroughly enjoy you enjoying it. But, I think that there's also a lot of opportunities to layer, right? So maybe the initial thing was, here's this party and let's do this game. But then you also layered other things on top of it. So it was, a lot more full service in terms of the fun. Yeah. Right? Because if it was just the game, it would be still fun. But the fact that there was stakes involved,
I have another story on that, if you guys don't mind. And this is something you guys both were wonderful friends and supportive in attending this.
Yeah.
I was reading that there's this new trend in the Northeast area where they have these things called a silent reading party.
Okay.
And I was like, what is that? And it's just people coming together and reading a book of their choice. It's not like a book club, but it's like a book of their choice together. And I, for some reason, thought that sounded like a lot of fun. And it was summertime. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make this into a picnic. So I just put it out on Facebook and I said, I'm going to have a silent reading party. Everyone come. I'm going to have wine and cheese and snacks and desserts and stuff. You come, and we're just going to meet at this park in South Pasadena, and we're going to read. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know who's going to want to do this. This is such a crazy idea. Yeah. But I had 15 people showed up, and we had such a lovely time. But you're talking about layering it. Like, that sounds like fun. It's like a picnic. It's already a twist, right? Yeah. But what was a great layer was something that I think Wanru gave me that idea. When I was bouncing the idea off of you, said, well, what we can also do is confiscate everyone's cell phone.
Ooh, yeah, that's right.
Dude, maybe it was Ken. my boyfriend Ken.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, you know what we could do is we could confiscate everyone's cell phone and
That's a
put it
good
in
idea.
a cell phone bag to make it really seem like it's a silent reading party, and then like people have no option but to really
Yeah.
engage in
No
the party.
distractions, right?
And I'm like, that's a great idea. It's going to be the no cell phone
Mhm.
zone bag. So I had a bag there. And when I got to when the party started and people were like having their drinks and chit-chatting before the hour of reading, I'm like, I'm not going to make people put their cell phones in the bag. That's so like, school marmy. I don't
Yeah.
want to be that person. I said, you guys don't worry about it. You don't have to give me your cell phone. And everyone's like, no, we're playing by the rules. And then
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
put their cell phone in the bag because I
Yeah.
think that just makes it more fun,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
even though it's just like
Actually, I think it's the power of Liz Pan.
it
I
is
think so too.
Yeah.
that
I
I could
think
take your cell phone away from you.
that all you have to do is think it, and we're like, yes,
Yeah.
yes, we will
Again,
do it.
She's almost like a drill sergeant of fun. So, how drill sergeants are doing something to you and you're just suffering through it, but
we
you have
don't
no
sell-
choice.
yeah, yeah.
But she's a drill sergeant of
fun.
fun.
Like you're gonna have fun, damn it.
That's a good way to
Yeah.
put it, Wanru.
Exactly, right?
That's very
So the-
good.
So, what? My cell phone? All right, here we go. Put the cell phone in the bag. Read for an hour. Jeez, all right. Open my book. Oh, no. And I'm being in this nice park. What a torture. At the end of the hour, you're like, I had
That's
fun.
pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That was good. That was good.
That's pretty good.
And that is
Yeah.
what the reaction I
Yeah.
get from most people is like, oh, that was fun, Liz.
Yes.
That was
It was
fun.
fun, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like, did you think it wasn't gonna be fun? Why did you come? But
These lawyer types. See, if you left them to their own devices. I don't want to bag on just the lawyers, okay? Although I was there.
at the
What were you
trivia
gonna-
night.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm just teasing. They're awesome people, but they're not going left to their own devices. They would never play this game. But because it was under the guise of Ken's birthday,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's
Yeah.
only because it was Ken's birthday they
Yeah.
felt obligated. If you sprung it on like a normal Tuesday,
Right.
Mm.
I don't think it would have flown as well. But because it was about Ken, it was about making him feel special.
Mm-hmm.
I think
And
the
that's a
drill
good point
sergeant,
too,
yeah.
is that most people are looking for a leader.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, they are.
Like
They're
most people are
dying.
living in their lives and they would love to get engaged in their communities.
Yeah.
They would love to get out there and mix with people and stuff.
Yeah.
I think most people are just waiting for someone to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
So to be what you guys are calling me a concierge, I think you have to be willing to take on a leadership role.
Yeah.
And that's
Definitely.
not that hard.
And you lead
It's-
like Liz does with enthusiasm instead of with a switch
Mm.
or a stick. She's
Mhm.
all carrot, no stick, guys. You guys know that analogy?
Yes.
You guys know?
Yes,
Okay,
thank
okay,
you.
okay.
You're President Roosevelt or
Okay.
something. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that definitely, I think some people might find it hard if they're not that type, right? I think like there are a lot of people who are extroverted that this is
Right.
like, oh, this would be fun. But what about the person who is an introvert,
Mm-hmm.
right?
point.
Or what about the person who has a bunch of friends that are a bunch of introverts, but they have that little spark? They just want to do something different this week, They just want to do something different, but they don't know how to do it. I mean, is there anything like for maybe that type of person who knows that nobody in their friendship circle will do it, and maybe they're the strongest one that would do it, but even they themselves are a little bit introverted? Are they just relegated to just like
To
gray
be followers.
gray
I
life?
think what I have discovered is story.
Okay.
Right? Like if you sell the story, and I don't know if like introverts are good at selling the stories, but like if you sell the story, if you tell the story, people just come on
Mhm.
board with you. And that's what I've turned, like if you passionately believe in it and you tell people how you passionately believe in it, they like go, oh, okay. Like, I mean, just something recently I remember thinking, we had a couple of friends of ours, Aaron and Marie, go to New York. And and people are like telling, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should go to this pizza place, you should go to that place and stuff. And I went, you know what you should do? You should go to Levon Bakery. It's the best cookies and they're like, and everyone's throwing ideas at them, right? And they're like, yeah, the same thing. And I said,
Yeah.
no. And I said, you don't understand. I was there during the Arctic blast or the polar vortex, whatever
Yeah.
New York was having a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It was 20 degrees. And I was on the Upper East Side. And because my friend Wanru wanted Levon Bakery, I said, when you go to New York, you got to bring me back this chocolate chip cookie. This was the best chocolate chip cookie in the world.
And by the way, how did I find out about that cookie? Because I was subscribed to another email list, which gave me like the 10 best things to eat in New York. And I read that list. That was your tip number 1, right?
Right.
Then
email list.
I called Liz and I told her, hook me up with these cookies. So because I took some time and researched it, and she was willing to walk through the snow. But anyways, go
During
on.
the polar vortex, I walked from the upper east side all the way through Central Park in 20-degree weather to the upper west side to Levon Bakery to pick up these cookies. When I walked in, it was warm. The bakery was cute.
Smelled good,
I ordered the
probably.
cookie, and those were the best freaking chocolate chip cookies I've ever
they are
had
very
in
good.
my life.
They're
right?
like cakey cookies.
Oh my god, they're
thick.
ugly as sin.
Yeah,
but they are
you can
so
say it.
good. Okay.
Colonic
But,
girl.
So I'm gonna tell you.
You're welcome,
What
Liz.
way past
came
that
out
point.
of your in the tube, the TV was a Levon Bakery cookie.
Yes.
But
Black.
I'm telling the story with like the passion that I
The
was just telling you.
enthusiasm. Yeah.
And our friends were like, "Oh, okay. So what was the name of that?" And they pulled it up on their Yelp and they bookmarked it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
that power of story
Yeah.
that gets people excited. So if you are passionate about something,
Yeah.
how could somebody else not be passionate about it?
Yeah. And I think it also helps, to your point earlier, you're naturally very curious.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I think
Yes.
that introvert and extrovert aside, if there is some curiosity
Yes.
in you, right,
Right.
that's a great spark,
Right.
right?
Right.
To actually move forward and do something about it.
Right.
Right?
And
Right.
I actually think introverts have a superpower,
What's that?
which is researching.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Once you get
That's true.
an introvert onto a specific topic that they're excited about,
Mhm.
they can research the hell out of
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if one of the gifts they can give to the friends around them is sharing. Like,
Mhm.
I'm really into, I'm just going to throw it out there, antiquing. There's 3 great antique shops. Do you want to go with me?
Mhm.
What a
That's all you
great-
gotta do.
What a great way to share your gifts.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
you can
true.
make it an antique pub crawl.
Ooh, see?
Pub crawl,
I
right?
don't-
see,
that wasn't that wasn't even in my reality
Wow.
until right now.
We went to another dimension right now.
But you could call it an antique crawl, right? If you
Sure.
got 3
Trademark.
antique-
Trademark. Don't even steal
No,
this.
don't do
Portland.
it.
I'm looking at you, Portland.
Sweden. I know you're watching. Don't do it.
Seattle, don't even try. Right? Antique. That's
Yeah,
like,
antique.
That's the capital of antiquing, right? Seattle. I don't
Why
know.
is that?
No idea.
I don't know. Anyway, but you could put a
Antique
little
pub
fun
crawl.
twist like that. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I think anyone has. If you are
Yeah.
interested in something,
Yeah.
put it out there.
It
Yeah.
generates
You will,
interest.
yes, and you will find your people.
Yeah.
You
I
don't-
will say that the whole going back to the colonic, that was what sold me on the colonic.
was what the story or the
No, was your enthusiasm in
Oh,
sharing
yes.
the story. You were
Yeah,
like, and my
yeah.
skin. My skin was so clear.
Oh my
And
gosh! Do you know
then-
how many people I've convinced to be a vegan because of my enthusiasm
Oh,
for
no,
it?
I can't talk to you about that. I like my steaks.
But it's this
gonna
power
talk
of
to
story is
you.
how you get your people.
I
It's you just
know.
got to find whether your
know.
people are introverts, extroverts,
Yeah. Or
you know,
what have
whatever
you.
it is in between. You know, you will just find your people.
Okay. So what other tips do you have?
Well, it's along the lines of newsletter, but like Groupon, like that is
Okay.
a great thing. And again, I keep
Wanru's a
pointing.
big fan of Groupon.
She is a big fan of Groupon, and now she's an aerial yoga queen because of it.
Yeah.
She's an amazing aerialist.
I'm a
Do you have
beginner
video?
aerial
So-
dance expert. Aerial dance.
What's your song?
Oh,
Do you have an aerial trapeze song?
not
Did
yet.
they do
Miley
that?
Cyrus or something.
Miley Cyrus.
Party in the USA. Scarf. I don't know what it is. What is it? Is it a scarf?
It's a silk.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Made of polyester, right?
But for example, through Groupon, we found a tap dancing class,
Right.
A bunch of
Yeah.
our girlfriends. Okay, let's face it, we're all women in our 40s, right? And we were just like, yeah, because it's so cheap and it's such an unusual thing. We're all going to sign up for
Yeah.
a month of tap dancing
Good
classes,
exercise.
which is good exercise, and it's a way for our friends to get together. And we
Yeah.
always add an element of food and drink into
Sure.
every event that will
Sure.
make everything successful. By the way,
Yes.
the silent reading party, no one's going to come and just read a book with me
With
if I'm not
bottles of
offering
water.
If I don't, right, with
Get
yeah.
you free water at the silent reading party.
No one's coming. No one's coming. But
Yeah.
wine, offer some rosé, people will show
There
up.
you go. There you go.
But yeah, so like we found the tap dancing there. Another thing that I'm really hoping is in my future is a sensory deprivation tank.
What is that?
We
And
want to
that's-
do that.
Sensory deprivation tank.
It
What is that?
It's
a
like
tank?
you get into a tank
With
and
water?
it's with water that is made that the salt level is such that it's similar to our bodies. So
Okay.
we float in it,
Okay.
and then we and you just sit there.
You
for an
sit
hour.
there?
Oh, it's gonna
Okay,
be fun.
It sounds like a
All
racket.
All right.
I'm gonna make myself a business too. I'm just gonna get that little swimming pool over at Target. You know, the one for the kids. Just put like some
Put some Epsom
plastic
salt in there.
I got a
over it,
shed. I got a shed out back.
and I'm gonna call it a sensory deprivation tank.
No, just sensory deprivation chamber, but it's my garden shed.
And what is this supposed to help you with?
It's supposed to help with your spirituality.
In
Much
what
like the
way?
colonic, Golda.
So, being in this tank full of salty water, I'm supposed
You
to
float,
be
and then
okay.
your senses are deprived, and then you just kind of like, I don't know. I'll tell you when I'm done.
Okay,
I'll let you know if
that's
it's worth it.
interesting.
But
That's
yeah.
fascinating.
See, that's how good of a persuader she is.
Hmm.
She can persuade you to have no sensation at all.
Yeah.
Join me in an hour of depriving yourself of any physical
Sensory
sensations
input.
and immersing yourself in a dark, atmospheric deprivation
Yeah.
Completely.
No. I mean,
chamber. And
I-
you're like, okay. Turning into a circus thing. But yeah, she's like a ringleader, so it fits. Yeah.
yeah, I think too that what Liz does is she's willing. She's like the general in a war, right? The general that actually fights at the front line instead of holding back in the hill, top of the hill, nice and safe from the battle. Liz is the type of general that will go to the front with the rest of the crew. So even though she's never done sensory deprivation before, she's willing to do it. And I think that's key. I think it's your enthusiasm,
Mhm.
like you said,
Yeah.
and your openness and your curiosity. It's all of those ingredients that make for a good recipe for a ringleader, for a concierge, for
And
that.
I'm doing
know.
this stuff. It's not, like I said, it's not for everybody. I think
Yeah.
it resonates with the two of you because you guys have in yourselves curiosity
Mhm.
and a sense of fun and adventure and stuff. I'm sure there are millions of people out there that are listening to going like, that girl's crazy. Who
Who-
wants to do that? That sounds like no, that doesn't sound like fun at all. They're just not my people.
Have you
right?
ever convinced a like curmudgeon-y kind of person, like who's not open to your ways? Have you been? Have you been? Are they convincible?
Who's the
Convince?
most
Is that right?
curmudgeon-y
Convincible.
person that you have ever persuaded?
You
to
don't
do
have to tell us
something?
names, but that can you think of a curmudgeon-y
Hmm.
kind of like full of obstacles, kind of a drag person is like, I don't want to go to a tank. I'm gonna be all pruny.
I will tell you, I have been that person, and I have been convinced. Right?
I'm clutching my pearls. What? What are
And
you
it goes
talking
to
about?
show that see, this is where your
That's just-
arrogance could get you
that's
and stuff. I
shocking.
remember, so I'm in this group where I have to set up a play date with another member of the group, right?
Okay.
It's this coaching group I'm in, and this one girl's like, all right, so Elizabeth, you and I have to get together and do something. Want to do something fun? And I say, so I listed, oh, we could do the float tank, and we could go do paint night, and we could do all this, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, do you want to just go see a movie at the Grove? And I was like,
Aw.
no. I'm like, that's so boring. There's so many fun things we could do. But I'm like, all right, yeah, we'll go see a movie at the Grove.
Yeah.
And so I went, and she's
Do you
like,
want to go to the movies at the Grove dressed like
Goats.
goats with goats? Movies with goats dressed as goats? Now that's something I want to go to. True story. I forced Liz to do yoga with goats.
I was gonna ask you guys about that.
Other
Yes,
story.
yes.
Right, finish with the
so
movie
you
story.
kind of have this in you too.
Yes.
Why would I go do yoga with goats if it wasn't for your enthusiasm?
This is a real thing, by the way.
It
They're
is
not
yoga
joking.
with
There is
goats.
actually
She
goat
had
yoga.
goats between her legs, clambering on her back with their sharp little hooves.
Aye.
And these goats will defecate at any moment.
Yep.
Anytime.
Yep, nature will take its course on you.
defecate on you, around you,
Oh.
next to you. But she was a trooper. But anyways, go on. So you were gonna go to the movies.
So I was like, all right. And then she's like, oh, you want to go see Mamma Mia? The the
sequel?
sequel. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, I guess. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, well, that's $16. I'm just gonna spend because I'm And I went and I had so much fun watching Mamma Mia the
Aw.
sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, I
It's a
was
lot of fun.
crying, I was laughing, and I was just like, that's just my arrogance getting to me. It doesn't always have to be
Mm.
something like crazy like that. When you open yourself up to and I turned to her, I said, you know what? I enjoyed this more than anything I could have come up with on my own. It's just seeing something
Wow.
so joyous as Mamma Mia the sequel.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have been convinced too.
That's an interesting thought, actually, that maybe as much as concierging your life every day, every single minute of the day might sound like just something really extravagant or luxurious or go, 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 go all the time.
Goats.
It doesn't necessarily have to mean that. Concierging your life can also be for wherever you fall in your comfort zone and maybe a little outside of that and then coming back in, and being comfortable in whatever that area is, right? So for you watched Mamma Mia at the Grove Theater here in Los Angeles. Watching a movie to a Liz Pan is like a slow day. But she was able to really find some joy in that.
I had
right?
so much fun.
Yeah.
I had so much fun.
Yeah.
And then you just discover things. Like she's like, oh, you want to go to Umami? I'm like, Umami, all right, we'll go to Umami. It's a chain restaurant. And I was like, they had an
We know Umami.
We all know Umami burgers. And they had an entire menu of Impossible burgers. And I was in heaven. Impossible burgers are these imitation plant-based burgers
Oh.
that are so popular now because they taste almost exactly like real burgers.
Wow.
And they had a whole menu of it. And I was like, they had a truffle Impossible burger that is to die for.
Yummy.
It is so
Wow.
good. So my horizons were expanded twice,
Yeah.
doing what was quote unquote a very dinner and a movie.
Yeah,
That
you
was
did
the
dinner and a movie.
Yep.
That's awesome. And it was great that you were open to it.
Yeah,
Right.
and I realized, reluctant. I was very
Yeah.
reluctant. I'm like, all right, well, we could be floating in this sensory deprivation tank, but I'll go with dinner and a movie. And it was absolutely joyous.
wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. So there's a good tip, right? Is just to always be open to whatever the possibilities are, and being able to, even that little thing of getting that special kind of hamburger that was interesting enough for you.
Find
right?
joy in everything too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Find joy in everything.
Like pay attention.
Pay attention.
I think you have to pay attention because there's a lot of joy that you can find in anything.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Even in a truffle Impossible burger. So
Yeah.
much joy in that.
Yeah.
And be open.
Yep.
Be open.
Yeah.
Just one little thing about the Groupon, because I can't let any Groupon go. So we all had seen a play, and the thing is, we all talked about taking tap classes for a long time, but one of us actually took action and found a deal online,
Yes.
and we actually took action again. We forked out the money. We whipped out our credit cards. We signed up. We made a commitment to a
Yeah.
4-class or 8-class series.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how actually the 5 of us girls started to hang out more and we got to know each other better. That was the real,
That was the impetus.
that was actually
Ah.
the real lasting effect of the Groupon. But
Oh,
another
interesting.
lasting effect of the Groupon is I still remember that song that we learned from our first series. Do you remember?
I was admittedly the worst tapper.
she
You
wasn't.
guys continued on and I did not because I'm just not a group dance person.
Oh.
But
Yeah, but to this day,
Yeah.
because our teacher would sing a song as we tapped, it was Mia, my shadow. And she
Oh.
would say, toe, heel, step, shuffle ball, chain, step, toe, heel, step, shuffle ball. And I have that seared into my mind now, and I can still do that routine because I know that song and I know those words.
yeah.
and how enriched is your life now because of that?
Many, many times over.
Right.
And what a great
Very
story
enriched.
too, right? I mean, I feel like in concierging your life and finding the fun in every day, I think that you also have these nuggets of memories that will stay with you, hopefully for years and years, and you can regale those stories
Yeah.
to your
Even-
friends,
Even
right?
if I want to forget that song, I can't.
You can't.
I can't. God damn it. I can't. It just keeps popping up in my mind at inopportune moments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the tapping experience was so impactful, and it's
Right.
fun, and it's not like you're changing the world here, but you were able to forge really wonderful friendships
Yep.
because of
Yeah.
that, right? And that's the bit that you can't take away.
Right. And
Right?
years later, we took that tap dancing class, 6 years ago? We still
Wow.
talk about it and we laugh and we talk, and it's just something that forges your friendships, keeps you young because you're
Yeah.
laughing and you're enjoying your life.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing.
So let's do a little review of the tips from the first one,
yes.
if that's okay. Just
Yeah.
want to make sure we didn't leave
get
any
everything.
Tips out.
Yeah.
Okay, so what
I'm
was
gonna
the
write it
first
down.
one? Sign up for
Those email lists. The great ones are Timeout, Thrillist, Eventbrite. In LA, there's one called Do LA. They all have wonderful tips, and every weekend, like on Thursday, they'll say top 10 things to do in LA this weekend, and it's always like, and it's never stuff that costs a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's always like, oh, there's a food fair here, or there's a car rally there, or, and you're like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. What was the second one?
Just take what would normally be a regular birthday party, would regularly be a picnic or a family dinner, and add a little twist into it to make it a little bit memorable for all the people attending.
Tell them about your latest party. That's how you did a little twist to your latest party.
Oh. So I just bought a condo.
Liz has got the best laugh. I can't get away with that laugh. I'm gonna try it.
Is that what I look like? Like a sketch person.
I look weird.
If I look like that,
You don't.
No, you
You're
look. I was
nothing.
gonna say you look good. We can't get away. We can't.
You're like Cinderella.
Yeah, we're like.
And then when the prince comes, we're laughing.
we're the stepdaughters.
That shoe fits.
What do you mean, my wart's beautiful?
Right. And you're Cinderella. All right. Okay.
Bum
so,
bum 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 bum. Anyway,
okay.
sidebar.
So I recently bought a condo that comes with this really large patio. It's
Yes.
600 square foot patio.
Huge patio.
And I have not done anything with it for a year because it's
Wow.
just too overwhelming. Like if I put a little piece of furniture in, it's just going to look ridiculous in this grate. So rather than do everything, I just decided to do nothing. But recently I got inherited a lovely set of patio furniture.
Okay.
And it just so happened to coincide with a friend of ours' wedding and a friend of ours' birthday. I said, I invited everyone over. I said, great, we're going to have a celebration of a birthday, a wedding, and my patio furniture, right? And that was just a joke, but everyone took with it, we made it a thing, right?
Yeah.
So we like showcased the patio furniture. It's used, just, it's not anything special, but it's like, we showcased it. And then when the cake came out, we all like toasted to the birthday, we toasted to the wedding, and then everyone toasted to the patio furniture. And so it was just like, and then now everyone calls it, when we refer to that day, as the patio furniture day. And it's just like, what is that? It was just a barbecue. It was just a barbecue, right? But everyone was like more inclined to come, and everyone came with a higher sense of fun because I called it something so ridiculous, like it's the celebration of Liz Pan's patio furniture.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, happy birthday. Congratulations on your marriage. Where's the patio furniture? I want to see that. Where's the patio? It was a joke, but it was such a fun
It was
point
such a
of
ridiculous,
conversation.
it's such a ridiculous thing to have a party over that it became a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was number 2. Add a fun twist to something you'd
yes.
normally do.
Number 3 is be a Groupon maven.
Be a
Get
Groupon
onto
maven.
yeah.
Get on
Get
it.
on- yeah,
Get
there's
on it
so
with
many
Groupon.
great fun ideas. I mean, that was when you asked me about the introvert thing. That would be a great jumping off point. Is go on Groupon, see what strikes your fancy,
Mm-hmm.
buy a Groupon. It's a cheap entry into doing this thing. Bring one friend with you, or just circulate it out and see who wants to do it and stuff. If they don't want to do it, they're not your people. You don't have to take it personally.
Yeah.
They just don't share the same sense of adventure as you might
Sure,
have. So
sure.
yeah,
What? People don't like sensory deprivation things?
It's
Or
possible
or watching
to comprehend that, but there might be people out there who might not be into that.
or watching their feces float by on a 30-inch
I don't know how that's not fascinating to everyone.
I know. Do you ever see those videos of people like popping their blackheads?
No.
What?
Nobody? Me either.
I mean, I've seen this, but how is this related to injecting fun into your life?
Well, when you're talking about the plaque that goes on the TV screen, it's strangely fascinating to watch, even though it's disgusting, right? You still want to watch it. You're not going to watch it because you're going through all that.
Right.
Right.
So,
anyway.
That's a part of you.
Yeah, so I was just thinking about the blackheads that people pop
natural-
on YouTube.
Natural segue.
Anyway.
Okay, so number 3,
The Groupon.
the Groupon.
Yes.
And I would say the overall theme, the overall tip is to be open and bring enthusiasm to what you do.
And if
because
you're passionate and have a good story and you tell your story with passion, oh my gosh, people will follow you.
Yeah.
You like, even if it's, hey, let's go to a park and read a book.
Yeah.
You tell a story. Like I told the story about, it's the hottest thing in the Northeast or Northwest right now. People are doing it all up in Portland and Seattle. I want to bring it down to LA. People are like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah. Oh, what? We have to give you your cell phone? Oh, like you just create a story around it and people just hop on board.
You know what else too? I feel like, as we get older, we search for things that have this sense of fun and playfulness. Kind of like when we were kids,
I
right?
don't think we search for it. I think we're born that way, and then we lose.
Forget.
We
That.
forget.
We
That's
lose
our-
it.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
we lose it with the day-to-day and
Yep.
everything and our responsibilities. So it's nice when it's like this breath of fresh air when someone comes in or suggests an idea. I think we're primed. A lot of people are primed for it and they're really ripe for it. They just need that little spark.
And then if I had to
Right?
give a fourth tip, that would be it. Don't be afraid to be the leader. Right? Like we said,
Mm.
people are waiting for someone to give them
Yeah.
something to do.
Yeah.
And they're just step a little bit into the spotlight and just be a leader. And
Yeah.
say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Who wants to come with me?
Yeah. And if nobody shows up, it's okay.
It's okay.
Don't
It's
let
not
that
saying
deter
anything-
you.
Yeah, it's not saying that you're a bad person. Nobody likes you.
You just need extroverted friends. Or who knows, you might be able to find new
Right.
friends
Right.
in this
right.
endeavor.
I just recently heard Meetup is another wonderful thing that I
yes.
just recently learned about.
What is that?
Meetup.com. It's a group of it's a website where you could go and you could find folks who want to do anything. You could do it with them. And there's this one called Downtown LA Rendezvous that a friend of mine's friend started, and unbeknownst to me, Wanru already has joined this group.
Oh.
And our friends had met on this event, and she was doing a downtown LA pub crawl. But I just was on her website, and she was doing, there's a downtown LA silent disco she's hosting. And there was like a macaroon tasting that she's doing later on this week. And I'm like, this all sounds like so much fun.
They better not have antique and pub crawl.
I know, because
I
that's
will-
trademark.
That's trademark.
So, like going on Meetup, either being, being a participant or even being a leader on Meetup, you'll find your people.
Yeah.
There's like people who are about like going on cheap eats or gourmet eats or
Right.
whatever, singles above 50 who like to go surfing. I don't know. There's
Right.
something for everyone.
Right. And it doesn't have to be so active too, right? Because there
Yeah, you
are
go and eat.
meetups. Yeah, there are meetups where you could like read together,
Yep.
right?
There's a lot of photography meetups.
Yeah.
So someone will teach you
Like
how to.
nature,
Yeah.
walks.
I
Right.
saw a learn French meetup, learn German meetup,
Oh,
and I saw them
that's
meeting in
lovely.
a cafe, and somebody was teaching them
Oh,
French or German.
That's cool.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking about starting a meetup for a silent reading regular thing, silent reading party.
Ooh,
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice. It was very meditative.
It was, but
Yeah.
it wasn't totally. It was an extroverted event for introverts,
That's exactly the way to describe
right?
it. Yeah.
Because you are getting together and talking to people. There is
true, yeah.
socializing, but then everybody gets into their own book and stuff. And how many times do people not read the book that they intend to read?
Oh,
We got
boy.
piles of books that we're
Yeah,
not reading.
I'm looking at them right now.
We need a
Yeah,
silent
we're
reading
gonna-
party. That.
So, anyways, that's another selling point.
Okay.
Is selling, saying that to them. Yeah. Anyway, meetups.
Yes.
Right.
Meetups. Got
And,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. So you had email lists, you had put a twist on it, you had meetups, a Groupon, and then
Be a leader.
be a leader.
Don't be afraid to be a leader.
Yeah.
I think that's a
That's a
lot
lot.
of good tips.
Lot of good stuff.
Is it?
already.
Well, thank you.
that you can
Yeah.
start doing immediately.
And we can vouch that her technique works
Yeah,
because we have been
for sure.
Pied Pipered and drill sergeanted and
Yeah.
recruited for these events. And my gosh, we had fun every single time.
Yeah. And again, it's one of those situations where you have some like, oh, curious. Yeah. Okay. But at the end of the day, it's always been gratifying and well worth it, right? And just memorable, really
Good.
memorable.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. So I think, did you have anything else that you'd like to add as far as?
Well, I think what you guys are doing is fun, is adding fun and joy to your life, the Ganru podcast,
Aw,
right?
Thanks,
Yes,
Liz
adding
Pan.
fun to our own lives.
Yeah.
It's
And adding fun to other people's lives,
I
too.
hope so. Yeah.
I hope so.
Right?
That's our hope.
not something most people would think to do. But you
Yeah.
are contributing and people are enjoying it.
Yeah.
And
Thanks, Liz.
most of all, you guys are enriched by this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
This is our hangout. I mean, this is how this whole thing started, I think, was because we were trying to find a way just to hang out. Here
There
it
you
is.
go. See, most people just go out to lunch. You guys are like, we're going to get
We're
in front
gonna
of
do a
microphones
podcast.
and put headphones on and we're going to like talk about things.
We may have
got a twist.
overstretched. We may have overstretched that social activity. Overcommitted.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank
so
you,
Thank you guys
Liz.
so much.
Very
I adore
helpful.
you guys so much.
Very
Thank you.
helpful.
Healing is more than mutual.
Thank you.
And thank you again for showing us how to inject more fun into your everyday.
And how you should concierge your life and find the fun in the everyday, which is something that you can start doing immediately using some of Liz's tips. And that's it for our very special episode we like to call Concierge Your Life with Liz Pan, how to have fun in the everyday. So in this last piece, we like to share, Liz, what we're going to take away from this episode. Like, what is that nugget that you're just going to remember?
And it's not a corn nugget.
Or an ice skating key ring.
Or
A button.
the button from 4th grade.
Yes.
Well, speaking of that, I actually was thinking, I haven't had a colonic in a while. I should go look on Groupon for the next discounted colonic. And if anyone wants to come with me, you're welcome to come. But no, yeah. I was thinking I haven't gotten one in a while. Maybe I should
Okay.
check it out
All
again.
For those at home who don't want to have a colonic, plug your ears right now. Because the only way to avoid the siren song of Elizabeth Pan is to plug your ears with wax. Or you're
My sandwich. Massaging my sandwich.
So, what was your takeaway?
I have to
Is
get a
she's-
colonic.
She's gonna get a
Great.
colonic
Okay,
from
great.
Groupon.
Right.
Is the discount colonic necessarily the best way to go?
You got to check Yelp for the reviews.
True. Good point. Good point. And check with your doctor as well to see
Yes,
if that is
yes.
something you can do.
True.
Yeah.
True.
What about you, Wanru? What is your takeaway?
My takeaway was that it doesn't matter what you do. You're just trying to provide a hook to bring people together, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, a book that Liz gave me was The Little Book of Huga? Luga? It's Hygge.
Yes.
Higgy? Huga?
Piggy.
It's
what
about the
is that?
Danish. It's about the Danish people and how happy they are,
Oh.
and they're one of the happiest societies. Well, but one of the things that they do is they build into their lives opportunities to get together.
Mm.
Oh,
And
I like that.
unfortunately, people are so busy now. It's hard to draw them. So you have to make it sound more fun or appealing.
Yeah.
You have to provide a hook to bring them in.
Yeah.
So by adding that twist, it's a way to bring people together. But ultimately, the key to having fun is just to bring people together.
Yeah. And I would say, I love that. And I would say that for me, my takeaway is very similar to yours. And I think that the older that I get, the more I revel and appreciate and look forward to the times when I can spend with my friends doing fun things. And it's lovely to be that instigator or to have friends who can help you with those things. Like you can have like a committee
Oh,
of
yeah.
like rainmakers here or like, ringleaders, in the social circuit, right? But I think that it's important. It helps your life, I feel, much more fun and enriching and something to look forward to. We've talked about that in past podcasts. And I love the idea, Liz, about putting a twist on something so seemingly ordinary,
Mhm.
right? Like a dinner with the family. How you can make that a little bit different this time around. Start thinking
Yeah.
about that. Or your next holiday, right?
Yeah.
How can you make that different? Or your next trip, your annual trip, how can you make that different? So you can, or the next movie that you go to, how can you make that different?
Mm-hmm.
So the seemingly ordinary things, putting that twist on it. It's just that little like fraction of a change, like seemingly a fraction of a change that can really make all of the difference.
Or just the change of title. It's not a
Yeah.
barbecue. It's a patio furniture celebration party.
Right.
Right? Just a change of title. It's the same
Yeah.
thing.
Right.
Just change the title, but it just makes it more fun. Yes.
And I was telling you guys earlier that we're gonna have a Thanksgiving party.
Yes.
And instead of calling it Orphans Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving party, we're going to call it What the Fuck Have You Been Up to Thanksgiving 2018. Doesn't that sound more fun?
Who wouldn't want to go to a what the
Who's
fuck
gonna
have you
say
been
no?
up to?
Sign me
Lisa?
up.
Right? So there's an idea.
There you go.
So thank you so much, Liz Pan, again for being with
Oh,
us
thank
today.
you.
We really appreciate it. Will you come back?
I would love it.
All right. We'll have
She
you
can
back.
this is just concierging your life for fun. She
Yeah.
can concierge your life for 5 other attributes.
Oh, so many different things.
So
you have no
many
idea.
things.
You have no idea.
Every part of your body and every part of your life will remain untouched. I mean, touched or untouched. I don't know which one. No part will be untouched. There.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. All right. I
Okay,
like
all
that.
right.
I like that. Well, thank you out there for listening and watching us on YouTube. Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Ganru Show. If you like us, please go ahead and subscribe to us or give us a thumbs up. Drop us an email or provide us some feedback or even rate us and rank us. We always like that, right? We like that.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we'll see you next time. And I'm Golda.
I'm Wanru.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And this has been the Ganru Show. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.